What's up, y'all? Welcome back to 2096. It's your girl Jazz, and today we're talking about some books. Okay, y'all, so I have three categories of books that I want to talk about today. The first one is going to be the one book that I read in December. The second book is going to be like an honorable mention for my TBR list for January. And then I have 4 books that are on my TBR list for January, which is crazy because I only read one book last month. So we're just gonna hop right into it. The book that I read last month was Every Last Secret by A R Torre, and y'all, this book was tea, okay? It's so dramatic. Let me just read y'all the blurb on the back. Kat Winthorpe has worked hard to get what she has: a gorgeous home, social standing, and William, her successful husband. Then, a friendly new couple moves into the estate next door. While cautious, a good neighbor like Kat greets them with open arms and warm hospitality. Nina Ryder isn't a fellow lady of leisure. A life coach with off-the-rack dresses, personal issues, and a husband who hasn't delivered. She's anxious to move up in the world. This beautiful new town is a step in the right direction. It's also making Nina aware of what she doesn't have, namely William. Yeah, that lady husband. When Nina's infatuation escalates into obsession, it's just a matter of eliminating a few obstacles to get the life that she wants, the life next door, okay? As Nina's secret fixation grows, so does her friendship with Kat. But beneath their cordial interactions is a wealth of temptations, secrets, and toxic jealousy. For both women, the desire for a perfect life can turn perfectly dangerous. This book gave me everything that I needed to get myself off the reading rut that I was on, okay? I needed a book that was going to be fast-paced, thrilling, keep me engaged, and like deliver at the end, because the book that I was reading previous to that just wasn't cutting it. Okay, so me and my bestie, we decided to we saw it on TikTok where you use this app and you put your fingerprint down and it helps you to, like, it's basically like flipping a coin but you use your fingers. And this was the book that our prompts led us to, and y'all, she guessed the ending. I kind of guessed the ending. I kind of guessed the method. But if we were playing Clue, she would have got it right because she had the method, the person, the motive, all that. But this was a really good book, y'all. If I had to put it on a scale of 10, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. This book was a 10 out of 10 read because, like I said, it did everything that I needed to do. The plot is told from Nina and Kat's perspective, so you get both, and it's also told in 2 different timelines, the like present and the past. And it does a really good job of like giving you enough of each to carry you through the book. It's a really awesome read, y'all. Highly suggested. The next category is going to be my honorable mention for the month / low-key the year. I was shopping at BJ's and I found the One Year Bible for Women. And one thing that's really high on my priority list is to grow my faith. And the first step is to actually know the word. So I made a personal promise to myself that I was going to read my entire Bible this year, and that's what I plan on doing. So the really cool concept about how they break down the Bible is that for every day you have 4 things that you're going to read. You're going to read a book from the Old Testament starting at Genesis. You're going to read a book from the New Testament starting at Matthew, and then you get a part of a psalm and a proverb. Those are your 4 sections for each day, and that's how it continues up until the last day that you're due to read your Bible, which is December 31st. I don't know if this book accounts for the fact that this is a leap year, but we'll find out on February 29th. Maybe we'll have a day to catch up if we fall behind. But I've done days 1, 2, and today I'm gonna be honest. I only did day 1 and part of day 2. I did the Proverbs and the Psalm for day 2. And then today I'm gonna do the other half of day 2 and all of day 3. But the flow has been really nice. It's not overwhelming because I'm not trying to like read the entire book in one sitting or something like that. And then there's also little conversation points that they drop into the Bible to just give you something to think about, which I think is nice. So what I've been doing is reading these, and then I transfer them over to my Notion notebook. I have a Bible study tab on my notebook where I do the SOAP method, which is scriptures, observation, application, and prayer. And I've been documenting it there so far, highlighting in the Bible for sure, but documenting my notes in that because I think it'll be easier to reference since the Bible is broken up like this. And then if I'm ever needing my notes for something, I can bloop, 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 just search it up on there. Notion is pretty dope, y'all. If y'all want me to share my Notion dashboard with y'all, because I actually use it for quite a bit, I will share that with y'all and kind of walk you through. So let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's my honorable mention for this season, this year. Is going to always be my 1 Year Bible. So yeah, read along with me if that's your steez, and if it's not, so be it. All right, now we get into the meat of the conversation. I have 4 books on my January TBR list, and I'm just gonna be real with y'all because low-key I need to be real with myself. I only read 1 book last month, and I only half read that book last month. I bought it on Audible with one of my credits that I have, because if you have Audible, you might be like me and you accrue credits quicker than you're reading. But yeah, I wanted to up the ante this year. I want to challenge myself. I want to step out of my laziness, and I want to read 4 books this month because I have a big goal for my reading, and we're gonna get to it. So I chose 2 of these books, and then I used a prompt to choose the other 2 books. So we're gonna start with the 2 that I chose. And the first one, we'll start with this one. We'll start with It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I read It Ends With Us last year, and that book was amazing. It was like heartfelt, like it moved me emotionally through the book with the main character, and books like that always spark something for me. But it's not the first book I read from the author. The first book I read from Colleen Hoover was Verity, and if y'all be reading and y'all be on TikTok, then y'all read Verity. That book took TikTok by a storm. It took social media by a storm, but the storyline was phenomenal. Okay, phenomenal. So I'm gonna read this one. It's the second book to It Ends With Us, the pink one if you've ever seen it, and we're gonna see what's going on with Lily and Riley. Okay, book number 2 is Scarred, and this book is coming off of a recommendation. It's also coming from the recommendation of the owner of this copy. Shout out to Alexis. But she introduced me to these books, and I managed to get my hands on 2 of them. The other one is it's down there, you can't even see it, but this one, this series is based off of Disney storylines. So this one is called Scarred. So as you can imagine, this one is coming from the Lion King storyline, just pulling inspiration, I'm assuming, from the dynamic. I'm gonna read to you the blurb. Prince Tristan Fossa was never destined for the throne. That was always his brother, Michael, the same brother responsible for both Tristan's tormented childhood and the scar that marks his face. When their father dies, Michael is set to assume the throne, and Tristan is set to steal it. The leader of a secret rebellion, Tristan will stop at nothing to end his brother's reign. But when Michael's new betrothed, Lady Sarah Betrow, arrives, Tristan finds himself in the middle of a new kind of war, the kind that begs the question of what's more important, the crown or the woman about to wear it. Sarah has one plan: marry the king and eradicate the Fossa line, even at the risk of her own peril. But she never expects the scarred prince. He's dangerous, forbidden, and one of the men she's been sent to kill. But the line between hatred and passion has never seemed so thin, and as secrets come to light, Sarah grows unsure of whom she can trust, torn between vengeance and the villain she was never supposed to love. So I'm assuming that this is going to be a story told in 2 people's perspective, maybe even 3, probably Michael, Tristan, and this betrothed, Miss Lady Sarah. And it sounds really, really good. The other one that I have is Hooked. It's based off of the Peter Pan lore, the Peter Pan storyline. And then on the back here it says that they have one called Wretched, and I believe that one's based on The Little Mermaid. And I think they have some more in the series. So if this is good, and when I read Hooked, if that one's good too, I might double back and go get some more books in the series line. And like I mentioned, the last 2 books I used prompts to help me choose. So the first prompt was cover color, and I used a random color generator online and it gave me green. And the only book that I had that had green in the cover was this one right here. This one's called Belong to Me by Marissa de los Santos. And this, firstly, the story about this book is kind of comedic. As you can see, this book, these pages are like sunburnt, weathered, they're old, like they're discolored, which is cool. But it's just funny because it's been sitting on my bookshelf for probably 15 or 16 years. Yeah, probably 15 or 16 years, and I've never read it. One summer, if you're Caribbean, you're gonna understand this story. One summer, my grandma used to keep me while my mom was at work, and so I was at the house and I used to just be over there bored. But you know, if you're Caribbean and you tell your grandmother that you're bored, the first thing that she's gonna say is, have you read your book from morning? And I had not read a book that day, so she took me to Kroger and we got this book. And like I said, I have not read it since, and this was middle school. But we're gonna read it now. So the blurb is kind of long, but I read it before, and the basic concept is that there are 3 friends that end up bonding over their circumstance pretty much, and they form a sisterhood, and they end up being the puzzle piece that was missing in all of their stories without even realizing that that was what was gonna happen. So this is going to be another heartfelt one. I feel like it's gonna pull at my heartstrings a bit, and I think it'll be good to kind of come after Scarred, because I don't want to read it back to back with It Starts With Us. I can't do romance on top of gut-wrenching, but overall I think that this is going to be a really good read, and I'm looking forward to it. The last prompt that I gave for Siri to choose was the genre of book, and I had to go through a couple different avenues to end up getting a good new genre, a good fresh book for this last one, because it kept giving me mystery over and over again, and I've been reading a lot of mysteries and listening to a lot of mystery podcasts, and I was just kind of mysteried out. So I googled the top genres for books, and I did the like random scrolly thing, and my finger landed on dystopian. So the only dystopian book that I had on my bookshelf was this one, and it's called Sanctuary by Lix. I don't know. And I've had this book for, I don't know. Where I got this book, I don't know. But when I googled the storyline, because since the cover is gone I had to do that, I found out that it is a dystopian fiction book. So it follows the life of Kiera, somebody with a K. What's that girl name? Kenzie. It follows Kenzie, who is an officer at this like space station where they house teen supers who are too dangerous to live on Earth. Right? And one day the prisoners riot and they take her as a prisoner, and her mom, who happens to be the director of operations of the whole shebang, she is supposed to, like, you know, step in and do, you know, crisis management, right? The girl thinks that her mom is going to save her, but it really seems like her mom is just trying to save face for the company. And it says that there is a plot twist at the end, because she discovers that there's something going on with the company, and her and the prisoners have to rally together to fight against it. So really exciting. I honestly am really looking forward to reading this one. I think I'm gonna give this one like a solid 4.5 stars, if not a 5, just because it's been so long since I've read a dystopian based book, and it seems like there's gonna be a little bit of action. The chapters seem pretty decently broken up. Like, some of them seem a little bit longer than others. Some are only like 5 pages or so, so I think it'll be a quick read if the storyline stays good. But that was the last book for my January TBR. So I hope you guys are just as excited to go through my January TBR list as I am. I'm really excited for the challenge that I've set for myself to read these 4 books this month, and I can't wait to come back and tell you guys about them. I hope you also enjoyed my mini book review on the one book that I read last month. If you do, and you want me to do some more, if you want me to do book reviews on these ones, tell me which one in the comment section below, and when I'm done reading it, I can come back and do a book review for y'all. If you want to read along in the Bible with me and see how I use my Notions dashboard to take those notes, I'm gonna put these down because it's heavy. If you want to see how I use my Notion soap method dashboard setup thingy McBobber, I can do a video on that as well. Just let me know. I think it would be cool to bring that to the YouTubes if that's what you guys want to do. If not, I'll continue to do it for myself. Don't forget to subscribe, turn the notification bells on, do all of the things. And I'm excited for 2024, y'all. I love a good fresh start. I love a good new year reset. So I always get motivated to put in some real work at the beginning of the year. And that's all that I can write on. I'm just taking it one day at a time. So thank y'all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I'm talking to my homegirls, okay? It's easy. It's easy.